Dr. David Holm for staying on my ass all these years. Talk to us about him.
Dr. David Holmes is a gentleman, a professor I met at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And he and I met in a think tank. I was a part of a think tank. We met every other Friday at Cal State Dominguez Hills. And once he realized who I was, what I'd done, he kept insisting that I wrote a book. Man, you got to write a book, dude. You got to write a book. You got to write a book. And he stayed on every time. He started that book yet? Every time I saw him, it was him and one other person. You're probably going to get to them too as well, but I'm not going to say it just yet. Every time I saw him, hey, man, when you going to write that book? Are you bullshit? I mean, seriously. That's how they talk about me writing a book. And Dr. Holmes, that was my dude, still right to this day.
Would it be Swamp Dogg that was the other person?
No.
Oh, okay. No. All right. Go ahead. Tell us who the other person was.
Michel'le.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Break that down.
Michel'le and I go back, man, to the 10th grade when he was a sophomore gangster and walking and talking and doing this thing. He went to Washington. I went to Compton. Gardena, and I would run into him all the time. And when I started doing dances, I'd run into him doing dances. Shortly after that, he was paralyzed, and we just stayed as gangster as he was. We always stayed cool, and he was from the other side of town, but we had a mutual respect for each other. And I seen, Lonzo, are you bullshit, man? When you write that goddamn book, and he was on my ass. Right, last time I saw him on Crenshaw, he was Mike would always, anytime he get a car, he'd take a sedan, cut the roof off. And I'm like, God damn, I pull up on Crenshaw and Slauson, and there was a dude in I think it might have been a Toyota, a Toyota something, photo with the roof cut off. I pulled up this mic. Lonzo, what up, man? Where that book at? Bullshitting. So as soon as I wrote that book, I took him a copy to his building over on, I think it's off of Western. And I haven't talked to him since then, but I do believe he got it.
Now, My Conception is somebody that we can spend a little time on. Legendary dude, former gang member. He ended up he ended up running the We're All in the Same Gang West Coast Rap All-Stars song with everybody from the West Coast during that peace movement. I believe he was shot in 1977 and he ended up in a wheelchair. What do you know about Concepcion's come up in the music business?
Mike came up he came up under the Suge School of Music. Okay, he was well respected, well feared, and he knew how to talk to people and get things done. And there wasn't anybody on that stage that would have told him no if he wanted you to be in a video. He had that kind of respect. You want to be in his favor. Okay, he's one of them kind of cats in the community. You want to be in his favor, and that's real talk. He and I always bumped heads with women. I mean, every time I get a woman, I was in the mall today. Some guy in a wheelchair. That was Michael. Every time, my first wife, my girlfriend, and I told him, I got a boyfriend. What's your boyfriend name? Lonzo. Oh, all right, baby, be good. That's how we roll. We had the same taste in women.
Shout out to Concepcion. What about Dr. Owen Robinson for keeping me healthy? You gave him an acknowledgement.
That is my doctor. That is my primary physician, and he and I have a real cool relationship. And he was the one that gave me the referral to go to check my prostate cancer. He and I talk like buddies. He happened to be a doctor. I got a lot of buddies that are professionals that I'm very friendly with. My personal doctor is one of those people. I keep him abreast of what I'm doing. When I talk to him, I go for my examinations. What are you doing these days? I give him a book. I put him in the book. I gave him my article. I mean, he just he's kind of proud to have me as a client, okay, as a patient. So we have a mutual respect for each other.
What about your attorney, Joseph Richardson, for keeping me out of court?
Esquire Joe, that's what I nicknamed him. He's a good friend of mine. He and I go back when he was still studying for the bar. He was a young dude, studying for the bar, and he and I stayed tight. I just talked to him last week, And he, when I had my case for the, I got sued for that guy getting killed at the club. He represented me there. He represented me in that case, and we lost, but it wasn't his fault. We was in a, it was a no-win situation. But it was just cool that he have somebody that that could represent you in a way, in the best way possible.
This is an interesting one. I'm a big radio nerd. Steve Harvey, for his book, Act Like a Success, Think Like a Success. It helped me to get off my ass and make this book happen. Break that down.
I at one time, I listened to Steve Harvey every morning. I still listen to him from time to time. But, when you when you praying for success, but they ain't doing nothing to be successful. When you talk about success, but you're not doing anything to be successful, you have to think about it. You have to be about it. And that was what I got from his book. Stop talking about it and be about it. I've always had a bunch of ideas, a bunch of plans, and sometimes life started lifing, and next thing you know, 2-3 years pass by, you didn't do what you're supposed to do. And that's why, as time has gotten more and more precious, I do a lot of things because I want to get a lot of things done. And that came from the inspiration from his book.
Do you still have that book?
I do believe so.
Nice. I'm going to have to check that one out. I don't think I've read that one. Nathaniel Pops Rollo Taylor for always being there with a positive word.
Rollo from Sanford and Son. I was engaged in one of his daughters, Donna. And even though she and I broke up, he and I stayed cool till the day he died, man. And he was my racquetball buddy. And we talked about St. Louis, talked about Sanford and Son, talked about the music industry. And dude, we just had a great relationship. He was like, after my dad passed, he was like having a second dad, man. I'd come by the house, he'd change the brakes on my truck. We sit there, talk shit. And one thing about him, man, one thing about Rollo, I always say, he was never biased towards his daughter. He always stayed open-minded because he knew his kids. And if I had a problem, he'd tell me what the problem was before I get. Yeah, I know what happened. I know my daughter. I know what she did. Okay, and it just made it comfortable. He would have been a perfect father-in-law. Okay, it'd have been a perfect father-in-law. One of them kind of father-in-laws that we go to Vegas together and hang out and leave everybody at home.
All right. What about your cousin Joel? You thanked him. You said, my cousin Joe Muwakil, RIP for all the good times we had.